what I think might be the top 10 draft picks to go in a fantasy football draft. So now I did put this in an order that I believe it will unfold. I could be wrong. I could be right. I have not the slightest clue, to be completely honest with you. But this is what I went with, and I'm curious to get your reaction, ladies and gentlemen. Now, keep in mind, this is what I believe would be picks 1 through 10 in a fantasy football draft this year. At number 1, I'd have Arian Foster going. He has been a consistent beast, even including last year when he missed 2 games due to injury. He is still a solid threat. Their number 1 option in the run game. On top of that, one of their best wide receivers, too. He runs great screen passes and that whole 9 yards. AKA, he is the focus of the Houston Texans offense. Number 2, I put Ray Rice. Same idea with Arian Foster that you have with Ray Rice. They are the focus of their team's offense. They are the number 1 option to give the ball to, throw the ball. They are number 1 for their team. Now, I also have LaShawn McCoy at my number 3. In my opinion, though, I think Foster, Rice, and McCoy, any 3 of those guys can go in any 3 of those spots. You know, I that's just personally what I think. Now, Eric mentions that he agrees with the first pick. He likes McCoy at number 2 instead of Ray Rice. So I'm assuming that might mean you like Ray Rice at number 2 or number 3, or maybe you want to bump him farther back. Maybe like Rodgers up, because I got Aaron Rodgers as my number 4. I think Rodgers, you know, he's finished in the top 3 or 5 in fantasy points every year that he's been the starter in Green Bay. Because not only is he their quarterback, but the past 2 years, he's also been their leading running back, which is sad, but true. But I could go either way. Like I said, I think 1, 2, 3, you can go any which way with those 3 guys, and you will not regret it because they are the same guy for their team. They are their focal point of their team's offense. The offense runs around them, revolves around them. Anyway, at 4, I put Aaron Rodgers. I think that Rodgers is number 4, but he can go as high as number 1. I don't think you're crazy to take Aaron Rodgers at number 1. You know, I really don't. I do not think you're crazy to take Aaron Rodgers at number 1. Now, would I personally? No. But I don't think you're crazy to do it. I don't think you'll look back on your season and regret it. I just think finding guys that throw for 4,000 yards and more than 25 touchdowns is easier than finding guys that will rush for over 1,200 yards, have over 10 rushing touchdowns, and possibly hit around. Bye, Sarah F. and Levy. We love you. You know, and then, you know, gets 5 receiving touchdowns as well and like 500 receiving yards as well. Now, Eric, you do make a very, very, very good point. It does depend on the format of your league. Now, in a PPR league, Rodgers might move backwards. Rodgers might move forwards. Ray Rice might move up. McCoy might move up. Foster might move back. Wide receiver might, you know, Calvin Johnson might jump from later in the first to earlier in the first. Wes Welker all of a sudden becomes a top 10 thought. Like, there are certain, you know, formats of your league will determine a lot in how you go about drafting. But, Sarah, make sure you're here to see Eric live in person tomorrow on the show, 10 a.m. But I got, like I said, I got Rodgers at 4. Now, this is where I might throw some people off. Some of you guys might agree. Some of you might think I'm crazy. But in my opinion, I have Sir Cam Newton as my number 5 pick if I was doing the top 10 picks. I have Cam Newton as my number 5. And I have Cam Newton as my number 5 because I truly believe he will have over 40 touchdowns this year between rushing and throwing. Now, I know they went and got Tolbert from San Diego to take away the goal line carries from Cam Newton, so he's not doing as much of goal line carries and taking as much of a beating on his body. But Cam Newton is a natural athlete. He is a natural scorer. And Eric puts saying that he's not even in Eric's first 3 rounds. And I don't think that's crazy either. I don't. Look, in my opinion, fantasy is not a thing that you win with your first 3 or 4 picks. Because you know what? Every single person that does fantasy football is going to pretty much put together a very similar first 3 or 4 picks. You win your draft with pick 9, pick 10, pick 11. You win your draft with those guys. The guys that nobody else thinks has a chance to be big, but you think he is. AKA your sleepers. Eric has Forte at number 5. Brady at number 6. I actually have Calvin Johnson at number 6. I think Calvin Johnson is going to have as good, if not a better year than he did last year. I just do. I think a lot of it relies on the health of Matthew Stafford, which sucks. But I really think Calvin Johnson is that good. Eric, you got McFadden at 7. I don't even think McFadden's a first-round draft pick. I think injuries are just too much to draft him in the first round. I have McFadden as an early second-round pick, in my opinion. Calvin Johnson, you got at 8. I got him at 6. I got Matt Forte at number 7. So we're off on that one. Obviously, by me having Cam, though, really throws me and you off. You got McFadden in your first round. I don't have McFadden in my first round. I got Mojo at number 8, believing that Mojo will sign or come back to the Jaguars before he starts losing game checks on top of being fined. So I got Mojo at number 8 because I don't think he's going to want to lose game checks. At number 9 is where I have Sir Tom Brady. I do believe Brady is a top 10 draft pick. I think he's just too important to the New England offense to not be a top 10 draft pick. Not to mention he's one of the best quarterbacks at sneaking. No, not many quarterbacks have the ability to lower their head, get underneath their center's butt, and get 3, 4, 5. I've seen him get 9 yards. I really have. But I like Brady at number 9 because he can get you a couple rushing touchdowns. He definitely is going to get you 30 or more throwing touchdowns. He's definitely throwing for over 4,000 yards. And then at number 10, I have CJ2K, who I know to a lot of people probably fell out of the first round with the year he had last year. But ladies and gentlemen, the man is a beast. Jeremy mentions talking about Tom Brady being able to quarterback sneak for like 9 yards. Is very impressive for a guy who can't run, and I'm completely with you on that one, Jeremy. Now, Eric has AP at number 9, Drew Brees at number 10. Now, I don't really think your top 10 is bad. I don't disagree with it. Now, like I said, I think McFadden at 7 is a little early. I think AP at 9 is, I don't know, because you don't know how he's going to come back from the injury. I like AP. Me personally, I was hoping that in my league, AP falls to the second round so I can get him. Because I think AP is going to have a good year. I just don't know if many people think he is a first-round talent with the injury. Drew Brees at 10. Can't go wrong with Drew Brees at number 10. Can't go wrong with it. This guy set records last year. He's the foundation of the New Orleans Saints offense. And no matter who is playing wide receiver for that team, Drew Brees is going to get him the ball. Jeremy, I believe you're saying switch Megatron and Forte for Eric's list? Jeremy? I'm not 100% sure if you're talking Eric's list or my list. Switch Forte and Megatron. Now, if you're saying that, then we're very similar because I have Calvin at 6 and Forte at 7. So, yes. Okay, so you're talking about Eric. Eric, now... But I could see Eric I could see where Eric's coming from because, well, let's see. If Stafford doesn't stay healthy, well, Megatron's stats are going to dip. Megatron is, now I know a lot of people don't want to believe in this, but Megatron is on the cover of Madden. All right? Just throwing that out there. Okay? I don't know what it's going to mean. I'm just going to throw that out there. Megatron is on the cover of Madden. Jeremy shows that he has Aaron Rodgers as his number 1. Ray Rice at number 2. I like Rodgers. I don't have an issue with Rodgers being 1. Ray Rice at 2. Foster at 3. So then see, between the three of us, Jeremy, me, and Eric, we have a disagreement on our top 4, but yet all 4 of us pretty much have the same 4 guys as the top 4. We do. Jeremy has Rodgers 1, Rice 2, McCoy 4, or McCoy 3, Rodgers 1, Rice 2, Foster 3, McCoy 4, Brady or Megatron at 5. Now I've got Foster 1, Rice 2, McCoy 3, Rodgers 4. Then I've got Cam at 5. That's my throw-off. That's where I'm throwing a lot of people off, in my opinion, on the top 10 draft picks in a fantasy draft.